And a very pleasant good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on MyBasin.com. It is the second day for the Falcons here in Anchorage, Alaska at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic at Mulcahy Stadium. My name is Josh Eldridge. Thank you so much for joining me today as the Falcons get ready to take on a fellow 1-0 team from day one at the tournament, the Chugiak Mustangs. As PJ Safford finishes up his final warm-up tosses. We're going to take one quick break, and when we come back, we'll introduce you to the starting lineups as we have them first for Chugiak, the visitors, and then the Klamath Falls Falcons, our home team, here in game number 2 in day number 2 of the Alaska 529 Mid-Season Classic from Mulcahy Stadium. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Time to reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
PJ Safford ready to deliver the opening pitch of the ball game. It's a fastball that finds the outside corner of the plate, and that is how we get started today here at the Alaska 529 Mid-Season Classic. It is the final game of the day. The second pitch is lifted into center field. Moving in is Max Price. He will put that one away for the first out as that retires Blake Yowett from Chugiak. The Mustangs today, the visitors, they are wearing their black uniforms, their black tops with Chugiak written across their chest in white with light blue trim and pinstriped white pants. The Falcons today in their red tops with white pants, Falcons written across their chest cursive in blue with a white outline and their blue skull caps with the red brim in steps. Jack Caron for the Chugiak Mustangs, who wrapped up a win at the tournament yesterday against South Anchorage, is actually the team that the Falcons had also defeated in their first game, and Chugiak doing it very similarly to how the Falcons dispatched the Wolverines. Falcons won 14-2. Chugiak won 11-4 as the pitch is fouled off. The count now a ball and 2 strikes to Caron. Batting next is number 15, Tyler Cage. He's starting at first base. Number 18, Owen Dockstader, is the right fielder. Batting fifth is number 5, Samson Young. He's the designated hitter, followed by the shortstop, number 10, Ethan Atkinson. Batting seventh is number 14, the third baseman, Cole Lux for Chugiak. The catcher, number 24, Cooper Millard, is batting eighth. And rounding out the order for Chugiak is number 9, the second baseman, Caden Kapazi, as a fly out that Takini puts away at second base. 2 quick outs in the top of the first inning. And in steps Tyler Cage, standing 6'2", for the Chugiak Mustangs. Chugiak entering play today with a record of 1-0 in the tournament, 12-1 overall on the season. And rumor has it they are one of the teams to beat here at the Alaska 529 Mid-Season Classic as Safford starts things out with a foul ball to Tyler Cage. Class of 25 just wrapped up his high school career for Chugiak. As Safford delivers the 0-1, it's a fly ball to right center field. That's going to get down. Could wind up being extra bases. A big turnaround first, and the throw in is not going to be in time to get Cage. He slides into second safely, and a 2-out double puts a man in scoring position for Owen Dockstader. Looking at the season totals so far for Dockstader as he bats cleanup for Chugiak. Dockstader this season is batting .333 and leads the team in RBI, second most in the team in RBI with 18 on the season. Bats from the right side as he takes a look. His first opportunity at P.J. Safford, the right-hander from Klamath Union High School. Take a look at the numbers on Safford. Probably get to that next inning as the pitch in misses low and in to Dockstader. Around the diamond for the Falcons, Takini is behind the dish. Also out there for the Falcons at third base is Max Price. The shortstop is Connor Shively. Colin Takini is at second base, and the first baseman is Corbin Hamilton. Fly ball into center field. That's going to be Sims moving underneath it, and he puts that one away for the third out. So one base hit in the inning for Chugiak, but the Falcons keep him off the board at the top of the first inning. We go to the bottom half next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Ready to go with the bottom of the first inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. The man on the hill for Chugiak is Weston Gracie. Take a look at him in just a moment as he goes against the Falcons lineup that goes like this. Leading off at third base is Max Price. Connor Shively, the shortstop, bats second, followed by the catcher, Jacoby Takini, hitting third. Colin Takini is the second baseman. He bats cleanup for the Falcons, followed by the pitcher, P.J. Safford, batting fifth. Carson Pimley's in right field. He hits sixth for the Falcons. Corbin Hamilton at first base, batting seventh. Carson Sims is the center fielder. He bats eighth for the Falcons, and Ryan Douglas rounds out the order, patrolling left field for the Klamath Falls squad. Like I said, Weston Gracie on the hill for the Chugiak Mustangs. This is his second start of the season and his fourth appearance overall. He carries a 1-0 record through 11 innings pitched. He's given up 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of those earned. He struck out 14 batters for an ERA of 2.54. And his first task will be Max Price. He's been swinging the bat very well at the top of the Falcons' order as of late. Has reached base to lead off the ball game, I believe every game here in Alaska so far. Looking to do the same against Weston Gracie. Here's the first pitch from the right-hander. It's a ground ball right back up the middle, and yes, he does do it again. Max Price with a leadoff single for the Falcons to get him in business in the bottom of the first inning. Falcons in their 14-2 win yesterday against South Anchorage scored 3 runs in the first, added 6 in the second, and 5 more in the third, mount up to their 14-run output. Only 6 of those runs were unearned. And here's the pitch. It is a line drive into center field, and Connor Shively follows it up with a single. Max Price rounding second, headed for third. He'll slide in safely. And the Falcons have runners at the corners with nobody out, and Jacoby Takini batting now. Millard is catching for Chugiak. Lux at third. Atkinson at short with Capozzi at second. Cage is at first. Caron in left. Yawit in center. And Dockstader in right as Jacoby Takini gets ready to step in now for the Falcons. He was 1 for 3 with a couple of RBI in the win yesterday against South Anchorage. And a beautiful opportunity to try to get the first run across the board here. The delivery from Gracie is taken on the outside corner for a strike, and Takini falls behind 0-1. Takini reached base 3 times yesterday, though, and Chase Baird, who had come in and run for him in those instances, scored 3 runs. Takini does a great job of getting on base. As Shively takes off for second, he'll get in standing. Now 2 men in scoring position for Jacoby Takini. On the season, Takini with 17 RBI. like I said, a great opportunity here in the early going of this ball game to try to push his team ahead. The 1-1 pitch misses below the knees. The count now 2 balls and a strike to Jacoby Takini with Colin Takini on deck. Chugiak also defeating South Anchorage. This is their second game of the tournament, just as the Falcons as well. Pitch on the way is a line drive into left field, caught by the left fielder Caron. Tagging from third is Max Price. He'll slide in safely, and a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Jacoby Takini puts the Falcons on the board, and they lead 1-0. Brings up Colin Takini now for the Falcons. Colin on the season is batting .400 and is second on the team in RBI with 22 on the year. It's going to cause Gracie to step off just for a moment. He wants to talk to his catcher, Millard. I want to remind you, as we're just getting going today, that our broadcast today in Anchorage wouldn't be possible without the folks at Heartfelt OBGYN in Klamath Falls or the Eisler Group. Both of those groups of folks stepping up and sponsoring these broadcasts here in Anchorage, allowing me to be here live and for free on mybasin.com and on 104.3 and 960 Sports back home in the Basin. So Colin Takini settles in. Runner at second is Connor Shively. 1 out in the bottom of the first inning, and the Falcons lead Chugiak 1-0. Gracie comes set with the pitch to Takini. Takes a look at the runner, Shively at second, before delivering home. Takini sends a fly ball to center field. Yowitt going back, settles under it, makes the catch. Shively is on the move. He's tagging, and he will get into third safely. And sacrifice for Colin Takini brings up P.J. Safford with the runner at third and 2 outs. Chance to help himself out here for P.J. On the season, Safford is batting .304, 16 RBI so far on the summer for him. Gracie looking in and is set. Here's the delivery to Safford. First pitch swinging, sends a ground ball out towards short. Atkinson up with it. Rifles a throw across to first. A nice pick out of the turf by Cage, and that will retire the side. The Falcons get a couple of base hits in the inning. They score a run, and they leave one stranded. They lead 1-0 as we go to the second on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Josh Eldridge back with you, getting ready for the top of the second inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. Due up this half for the Chugiak Mustangs will be 5, 6, and 7 in their order. Samson Young, Ethan Atkinson, and Cole Lux as they look to get going against P.J. Safford, a game in which the Falcons lead 1-0. Schedule continues tomorrow here in Anchorage. So we'll kind of go over what it's looked like so far. But tomorrow the Falcons back against Kenai at 2:15. That rounds up group play for them. Chugiak plays the opener tomorrow against Kenai, so a doubleheader for the Twins to start tomorrow. Here's the pitch on the way and a swing and a miss from Samson Young, and that's how Safford gets ahead of this at-bat. Like I said, Young, Atkinson, and Lux do up this half inning for the Mustangs. Time is called by home plate umpire. I believe it was Jacoby Takini. Had something going on with his catcher's gear, perhaps. Or maybe the umpire got something stuck in his mask. Not sure. Either way, here's the 0-1 pitch from Safford. Finds the outside corner with the hard stuff and gets ahead 0-2 to Samson Young, the designated hitter. Hitting, of course, for the pitcher, Gracie. Safford agreeable with Takini on the 0-2 pitch. Goes slider in the turf. The count is 1-0. Artificial field turf infield here at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. The turf extends a little bit past the cut of the outfield grass and then a natural grass outfield here in Anchorage. As the 1-2 pitch is fouled back into the grandstand, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. It's been a very great time to watch a game here at Mulcahy Stadium, kind of a wood stadium feel like I've described back home at Kiger Stadium, and they run the field, and the situation is very similar to how Kiger Stadium is done back in Klamath Falls. The 1-2 pitch misses low and in the dirt. The count is 2-2. It's a city-owned facility that is mostly maintained by the people who use it, similar to how Kiger Stadium is back home. So it takes a lot of TLC to keep this place up and running. The 2-2 pitch is fisted down the first baseline foul. Count will remain 2-2 to Samson Young. Stadium was built in the 1960s. They got the artificial turf surface in 2009. I was talking to Steve Nerland, a man who helps run this facility and run Alaska Legion baseball. Here's a pop fly in foul territory. Takini puts that one away for the first out in the second inning. It'll bring up Ethan Atkinson. Now, Mr. Nerland is part of the Alliance. He's one of the leaders of the Alliance, which runs Alaskan Legion baseball as well as the Cook Inlet High School Conference. They work with state legislatures to secure funding and all of the things that go into putting on a good Legion season. All the teams in Alaska are in the same league. It's not like in Oregon where it's only, going an hour and a half to the west to Medford or a little bit further to Grants Pass. Now, sometimes you got to get on a plane to go play in a league game here in Alaska. As the 1-1 pitch finds the zone, the count of ball and 2 strikes to Ethan Atkinson. So he puts on all that, and he was telling me that this is the same turf that they put in 2009 that we're still playing on today. He explained to me that there are some cutouts around second base, first base, home plate, third base that they repair. Same with the batter's boxes and the pitcher's mounds and things of that nature. The 2-2 misses high and in. The count runs full, 3-2. But everything else is the same turf that's been here for now 16 years. They haven't had to replace it at all. As P.J. Safford readies for the full count pitch, the slider finds the outside corner just on the black, and Safford sets down Atkinson for the second out in the second inning. It'll bring up Cole Lux, the third baseman for the Chugiak Mustangs. Lux bats from the right side for Chugiak. Stands 6 foot tall, and his class of 28 sends a line drive right back up the middle on the first pitch, and a 2-out base knock for Chugiak will extend the top of the second inning. Bring up Cooper Millard, the starting catcher for Chugiak. He'll get a chance now against P.J. Safford. Well, the reason that they've been able to have the same turf for 16 seasons is because, and this is according to the man who installs the turf, is relayed to me today, is that when the snow falls here in Anchorage, they keep the snow on the field because no one's using it in the winter months from about October till about mid-March, as the first pitch is a fastball, finds the outside corner 0-1. They keep the snow on the turf, and there's no UV rays that get through the snow to damage the turf. That's what can create the turf or make it mushy and, well, not playable after so many years. Safford checks on the runner at first, Lux, in the 0-1 count, but he's back safely. And so with a little bit of maintenance in the batter's box and on the mound and around the bases, they've been able to keep everything else for 16 seasons. I thought that was remarkable. The 0-1 pitch is hit in the air behind shortstop. Shively backpedals, but puts that one away, and that will retire the side. 1 base hit in the inning for Chugiak, but no runs come across. The Falcons lead 1-0 to the bottom of the second inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Getting set for the bottom of the second inning from Anchorage, Alaska, Mulcahy Stadium at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. As this is the final game being played today, and we had 3 games played earlier today. It was West Anchorage who defeated Diamond 9-5. Madisonville picked up their first win of the tournament against Service 8-4. Madisonville and West Anchorage actually tied last night. It was a 6-6 tie in that contest. And then, of course, Madisonville picking up their first win today. Kenai played the game right before us. They defeated South Anchorage 10-6 in that contest. Then, of course, Falcons are the nightcap. Here's the first offering. It's a swing and a miss from Carson Pimley as he falls behind of Weston Gracie 0-1 in the count to begin the bottom of the second inning. Gracie looking in, looks on his wrist guard, it looks like, for the sign. And the 0-1 pitch is an off-speed pitch over the heart of the plate, and the count is 0-2 to Pimley. It'll be Pimley, Hamilton, and Sims due up this inning for the Falcons. That's 6, 7, and 8. As Carson readies for the 0-2 pitch, chokes up on his bat, and pops one up in the infield. Looks playable for the pitcher, Gracie. He'll call everybody off, and he will make the catch for the first out in the second inning. And this will bring up Corbin Hamilton for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Hamilton productive yesterday in the win against South Anchorage. Hamilton was 1 for 2 with 2 RBI. His 2 RBI single came in the 5-run third inning that would effectively put the game out of reach in the 14-2 win yesterday for the Falcons. Line drive back up the middle and through into center field on the first pitch seen by Hamilton. And he is aboard with a 1-out single. And it will bring up Carson Sims. Sims batting from the right side. Carson was named the 529 player of the game in the Falcons' win yesterday. And, well, his line score certainly reflected it. He was 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a double and a run scored. Was instrumental in both of the big rallies that the Falcons had put together, whether it was the 6-run second inning or the 5-run third inning. Sims had RBI in both of those and helped propel his team to a impressive victory in Game 1 at the 529 Midseason Classic. Here he hits one over the head of the shortstop and down in front of the left fielder, Caron, and a 1-out single moves Hamilton to second. Sims aboard at first, and now there are 2 men on for Ryan Douglas. Douglas will also bat from the right side, of course, for the Falcons. Yesterday, he was 1 for 2 with a run scored. He was also hit by a pitch in that contest. Douglas now an RBI opportunity. With 2 men on, we'll see if the Falcons get aggressive on the base paths. We've already seen their aggressiveness on the base paths on display in this ball game already, with Max Price taking an extra bag here. Connor Shively already with a steal. And the pitch is underway. Douglas hits a high fly ball to left center field. It is the center fielder, Yowit, to make the catch. No one on the move, and that will be the second out in the bottom of the second inning, and we go back to the top of the order for the Falcons with Max Price. Price singled and scored in the first inning. It's been the lone run so far for the Falcons. He scored on the sacrifice fly from Jacoby Takini. It's Max Price batting .369 this season so far for the Falcons. Modest lead off of first for Sims, less of a lead for Hamilton out at second, as Gracie comes set with the first pitch to Price. Here's the pitch. Taken off the inside corner. The count is 1-0 to Price. Continue to keep track of this list of guys who've started every single game for the Falcons this year. And Price is one of them, 18 for 18, only joined by P.J. Safford and Jacoby Takini. There's a couple of guys who've played in every game, but they haven't started every time. But Price is a part of that short list now for the Falcons. Move over to second. Nearly had Hamilton leaning out there, but a throw that took the shortstop just a second to receive allowed Hamilton to scamper on back to second base, and he's back safely. The count is still 1-0 to Max Price. Hamilton and Sims both singled. Now Price trying to knock him in with 2 away. Delivery on the way from Gracie after taking a good long look at Hamilton at second. Line drive into left field. Hamilton gets the green light. They're waving him in. The throw is going to be cut off, and Hamilton slides in safely, and the Falcons lead 2-0 after the RBI single from Max Price. He's 2 for 2 today and give him his first RBI of the contest. In the meantime, Sims advances to second, and it will bring up Connor Shively, who already is 1 for 1 today as well. That time for Max Price, credited him with RBI number 12 on the season. And now Shively batting from the left side takes his second look at Weston Gracie. And Price with a fairly aggressive leadoff first with no one holding him. Sims a bit more modest out there at second. As the pitch misses upstairs to Shively, and the count is 1-0. After Shively in the order, if the inning continues, it's Jacoby Takini. Gracie looks in and gets the sign. Comes set, nearly fully turns his back to the batter as he comes set and delivers the pitch. Misses well outside, and Shively gets ahead now 2-0. Gracie trying to find his way out of this inning. Behind 2-0 to Shively. Shively leading the team in hitting .533. He also leads the team in RBI with 28 so far on the summer. 28 RBIs, and this is only game number 19 on the season. That is impressive for Shively. He sends a fly ball and a left field foul, and the count now 2 balls and a strike. Shively had a good prep season, but here in the summertime, he has really kicked it into another gear. Slugging .633, gets on base 56% of the time. He's towards the top in the team in that metric as well. Also hasn't been caught stealing on the base paths at all this year. He's 10 for 10, leads the team in that number as well. He has just stepped up in a huge way to help the Falcons to early season success. Like I said, 1-0 in this tournament. They're 15-3 overall in the season. And going back to Wednesday, still fresh off of a tournament win, the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament in Wasilla, where the Falcons were only the second ever team from Oregon to claim the top spot at that event. Count right now 3-1 to Shively, and the pitch. It's going to miss outside. Shively will walk. That'll load the bases for Jacoby Takini. Sims to third. Price to second. And Shively aboard at first after the walk. It's the first walk surrendered by Weston Gracie. As Takini steps in now without an official at-bat, he did have a sacrifice fly with an RBI in the first inning. Taking a look at Jacoby when batting with the bases loaded so far this season. Believe he is 2 for 4 in these situations. He will take ball 1 off the inside corner. The Falcons with bases loaded this season, batting .471 as a squad, 16 for 34 in instances like this so far this summer. Takini has had some of the most opportunities. Like I said, 2 for 4 so far. Here's the pitch. It's a fly ball into right field. Looks playable for Doc Strader. And he will get underneath it and make the catch. The Falcons leave the bases loaded in the second inning, but they do add a run on 3 base hits, and they will carry a 2-run lead to the top of the third next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Getting set for the top of the third inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. The Alaska 529 Midseason Classic here in Anchorage, and the Falcons lead the Chugiak Mustangs 2-0. Due up this half for Chugiak is going to be 9-1-2. Caden Kapazi, Blake Yowett, and Jack Karen. Realized haven't given you a full outlook on P.J. Safford yet this season. The right-hander is making his third start of the summer. Coming into this game, an ERA of .51 and an 0-1 record. And that's in 13 2/3 innings pitched coming into this game. Now, of course, he's already through 2 so far today and has seen that ERA dip a little bit more. And hoping to keep it that way as Kapazi fouls off the first pitch he sees. The count is 0-1. Safford working quickly out there and sends a pitch that gets hit right back into left field. And a leadoff single for Caden Kapazi will bring up the top of the order in Blake Yowett. Yowett 0 for 1 today. Flew out in the top of the first inning. It's actually how he led off the ball game. On the season, take a look at the numbers for Yowett. He's leading the team in batting, .538. 10 of his 14 hits have been singles as pitches bunted foul. I believe the count is 0-1 with that runner aboard at first. Yowett is class of 2025, just graduated this past springtime. Bats from the left side. Stands 5'9" in the batter's box. Safford makes a move over to first. Kapazi is back safely. And he'll take a look back at Yowett in an 0-1 count. Safford already set out there. And here comes the pitch. It misses outside. And the count is even now at a ball and a strike. Here at Mulcahy Stadium, it's home to not only the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic, but also the Anchorage Bucks and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, a couple of Alaska Baseball League teams. They're summer collegiate league baseball teams, sort of like the West Coast League, like we see teams in Oregon. Here's a high, deep fly ball to right field. Pimbley going back near the warning track. He makes the catch at the warning track. Pimbley falling over by the fence. Oh, my goodness. What a catch by Carson Pimbley in right field for the first out in the third inning. Full sprint towards the fence and wound up on his knees to bring that one in for the first out in the third inning. Jack Karen batting now for Chugiak. He's 0 for 1 today, popped out in the infield in his first at-bat as the rest of the Falcons give props to Carson Pimbley in right field. Yeah, you got to tip your cap to that one for the young man out there. Pitch is hit out in the air towards left. It is going to drop in front of Douglas and get by him. Rounding second, headed for third is Kapazi. They're going to wave him all the way in and slam the brakes on him as he rounds third. He was getting the windmill, but then right as the throw got in, Douglas did a great job of getting it back in quickly. They had to stop him. So a double from Karen puts runners at second and third for Tyler Cage. Now, Cage is 1 for 1 in the contest today. He doubled in the first inning and was left stranded out there. But Tyler Cage leads the team in RBI this season with 19. He also paces the team in runs scored as Coach Craig Connor comes on out of the dugout for the Klamath Falls Falcons. And while he has a conversation with the infield, want to remind you that today's broadcast and every broadcast here in Alaska is brought to you specifically by Heartfelt OBGYN and by the Eisler Group in Klamath Falls. Because they support us, you should support them as well. We asked them very late in the game if they would support our trip to Alaska, and, well, they said, absolutely, we want to get these games on the air. And so big thanks to the folks and the decision-makers at Heartfelt OBGYN and the Eisler Group for not only supporting these broadcasts, but in turn supporting the kids and the team and all the fans back home in the Klamath Basin, I'm sure are appreciative of our coverage here as well. I hope you are, at least, as we are ready for the at-bat for Tyler Cage with one out in the top of the third inning and 2 men on in a 2-run ball game. Tying run in scoring position for Cage as Safford thought about working out of the windup. He stepped off. He'll still work out of the windup with a runner at third. Fairly aggressive leadoff is second for Karen. And Safford will deliver the first pitch to Cage. It misses outside. The count is 1-0. I was talking about Coach Craig Connor coming out of the dugout a moment ago. The last time the Falcons were here in Anchorage, Coach Craig Connor was the head coach of the Falcons then. Now, of course, an assistant to Sean Teeters in his first year as the head man for the Falcons. It's been mostly the same overall staff, but, of course, Joe Tacchini giving the full reins to Coach Sean Teeters this summer. Here's the 1-1 pitch in. It is fouled straight back, and the count is 1-2 to Tyler Cage, the cleanup hitter. Number 18, Owen Dockstader, is up next for Chugiak. Safford looks in for the 1-2. Tacchini gives the target and the pitch. It's a slider that misses down and away in the turf, but Tacchini, a nice job of keeping it in front of him, but the count is even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the first baseman for the Mustangs. Infield playing back on the cut of the outfield grass. The outfield playing a couple of steps in. And the pitch is hit in the air, right field, although well foul. That's over by the steel bleachers. Lot of seating here at Mulcahy Stadium. Like I said, home to the Anchorage Bucks and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, which are sort of, they're part of the Alaska Baseball League, which is reminiscent of the West Coast League that you'll see Oregon teams playing, like the Portland Pickles or the Bend Bucks or the Springfield Drifters are a newer team in the West Coast League as well. As the 2-2 is lifted into the air, right center field. The center fielder, Sims, makes the catch on the run for the second out, but tagging and scoring from third is Caden Capazzi. So a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Tyler Cage gets Chugiak on the board in the top of the third inning. Runner remains at second in Jack Karen. It brings up Owen Dockstader. A lot of really good players have come in here through Anchorage to play for either the Glacier Pilots or the Bucks. Just a brief walk around the stadium will let you know that, well, the big name that jumped out to me right away was in 2011. Aaron Judge was a member of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Now with the New York Yankees, of course, was a Rookie of the Year, an MVP, and all the things. Ground ball sent out towards short. Shively up with it. Throw on to first. We'll hold that thought there. Plenty more to talk about the collegiate baseball teams here in Anchorage. But right now, as the top of the third inning concludes, it's the Klamath Falls Falcons who lead Chugiak 2-1 at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. You're watching it live on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
New pitcher in the game for the Chugiak Mustangs as we get set in the bottom of the third inning. The new mound out there is Luke Sell, the 5'8" high school graduate of 2025. We'll take a look at the numbers for him in just a second as he comes in relief of Weston Gracie. His first task out of the bullpen will be Colin Takini, followed by P.J. Safford and Carson Pimbley. Luke Sale this season carries a 1-1 record. This is his first appearance in relief this summer. In 10 2/3 innings pitched, he's given up 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. He has struck out 11 batters for an ERA of 3.28. And again, here's Colin Takini getting ready to step in for the Falcons as they lead Chugiak at the bottom of the third inning, a score of 2-1. Takini 0 for 1 in the contest. He flew out to center field back in the first inning. Swings and offers up at the first pitch. That is fouled straight back. 0-1. Giant apartment complexes right behind us here at Mulcahy Stadium, but athletic fields all around us otherwise. Over the left field fence is the Anchorage football stadium, and they also play soccer there. There's some softball fields over the center field fence and the right field fence as well. Could see it as you drive up. Just a huge complex here in Anchorage. The 1-1 pitch to Takini is popped foul. The count is 1-2 after that foul ball. Taking a look at the numbers for Colin on the season. Like we said, he bats .400. And the pitch is going to miss outside. The count is even now 2-2. Should be able to also close the book on Weston Gracie, who exited the game after his first 2 innings pitched. We'll give you the finals on him after the 2-2 pitch to Takini, which is going to be a drop third strike off the glove of Millard, and Takini is going to reach first. It was just off the end of the webbing, and so despite the strikeout, Takini will reach base, and it'll bring up P.J. Safford with a runner on first and nobody out. Just wanted to finish that thought on Weston Gracie, who pitched 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, and did not strike out any batters. Now, he only threw 23 pitches, so theoretically could throw again tomorrow for Chugiak as they play first thing in the morning tomorrow at 11:45 against Kenai. That'll be their final game of group play. Set out there is Sale, and the pitch to Safford is off the glove of Millard and gets by him, and it will advance to Keeney to second. And so now Safford bats at a 1-0 count with a runner in scoring position. Safford is 0 for 1 in this contest. He grounded out back in the first and has gone through the first 3 innings on the mound relatively unscathed. He has given up 1 earned run. Checking the line score for him through the first 3 innings in just a moment. The 1-0 pitch to Safford. Here it comes. It's a ground ball back out to shortstop. Up with it is Atkinson. Throw on to first is there, but advancing to third on the ground out is Colin Takini. And so now a runner just 90 feet away for Carson Pimbley. By the way, just for Safford, wanted to wrap up that thought on him. Through 3 innings of work for him, 4 hits, 1 run it's earned. He struck out 1. And imagine he'll be out there for the 4th inning for the Falcons. So Carson Pimbley, who's 0 for 1 in the contest, gets ready to step in with that runner on third, and he pops one out of play foul. The count is 0-1. Flash you back to the top half of this inning when Pimbley made an incredible sliding catch by the warning track in right field and really helped Safford get out of that inning. Made that catch with a runner aboard at first at that time and kept them there. And without that, instead of 1 run, you probably could have been looking at 2 or 3 runs in that inning for Chugiak as the 0-1 pitch was out of the zone, got away from Millard for a second, but Takini not on the move from third. He'll still there for the 1-1 pitch. It's a changeup that Pimbley swings through, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes to the Falcons' right fielder. On deck is Corbin Hamilton. As Millard takes a look over towards the dugout, gets the sign from one of his coaches over there in the Chugiak dugout. It's a curveball that is going to miss inside. A good curveball there from Sale, but a better take from Pimley, recognizing that pitch, not breaking enough over the plate. So he takes it for ball 2. Here comes the delivery on the 2-2. It's an outside fastball that Pimley looks at for strike 3, and he goes down as the second out in the third inning. In steps Corbin Hamilton, who's 1 for 1 in the contest with a run scored. He singled in the second inning and would come in to score, and Max Price drove him in on an RBI single later on in that frame. Here's the pitch. It is taken for a strike, similar location to the last outside fastball as Hamilton falls behind 0-1. Almost no lead for Tacchini off third, playing it safe over there as the 0-1 pitch to Hamilton is in the dirt, kicks up the first base line from Millard. He gathers, comes in, applies the tag, and Tacchini is out. A very close play at the plate as a pitch in the turf rattled up the first base line for a moment, but Millard gathered, came back, and applied the tag to Tacchini to end the inning. But the Falcons still lead as we go to the top of the fourth inning. They're up 2-1 against Chugiak on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
And we're getting set for the top of the fourth inning in day number 2 of the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead Chugiak 2-1. For the Falcons so far, 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. They've left 4 runners on base. For Chugiak, 1 run on 4 hits, no errors for them. They've left 3 runners on base. The first pitch is going to miss inside, and the count is 1-0 to Samson Young, the designated hitter for Chugiak. He's 0 for 1 in this contest. Safford ready with the 1-0 pitch. It's a ground ball out to Shively at short. Up with it cleanly. Strong throw to first in time. And there's 1 gone in the top of the fourth inning. So after Sampson goes down, it's Ethan Atkinson, who's 0 for 1 in the contest as well. He struck out back in the second inning for Chugiak. So far on the season, Atkinson is batting .476. He's second on the team in hitting as he fouls one off the right side. The count is 0-1. Atkinson, like I said, second on the team in hitting. He's second on the team in a few other categories as well. In RBI, he's got 14 as he sends a ground ball to first. Hamilton can't come up with it cleanly. Tacchini with the play of the day almost at second base. What a play by Safford as well. A sharp ground ball to Hamilton at first. It ricocheted off his glove over to Colin Tacchini, and a heads-up play by Safford to get there and cover in time. A 3-4-1 putout is how we record the second out in the fourth inning. And just great baseball awareness by Safford out there on the mound to know that even on that sharp ground ball where Hamilton probably could have taken it himself, to still be there and get there for the out. As here's a fly ball sent to the right side just behind first base. This time Hamilton does put away the out, and the Mustangs go down in order in the fourth inning. And we'll go to the bottom half with the Falcons in a 2-1 lead on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Time to reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
Score of 2-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Chugiak Mustangs in the Alaska 5-2-9 Midseason Classic. Started this tournament 30 years ago in 1995. They've only taken breaks in 2020 and 21 for the COVID pandemic, but teams from all over the country have come here, and, well, they've won a lot of gold as well. So we get set for the first pitch to Corbin Hamilton. He will take strike one on the outside corner. Look to be a slider from the right-handed pitcher, Sell. Gets ahead of Hamilton, 0-1. Pitch is on the way. And another outside slider. This time it misses off the outside part of the plate. And the count is even now at a ball and a strike. That time swung on and missed. The count is 1-2. Well, like I said, the team who's won the most titles here at the Alaska 5-2-9 Midseason Classic out of state. It's Napoleon of Ohio, who's won this tournament 5 times as Hamilton stays alive in the 1-2 pitch. Chugiak has won 3 times, which is tied for second most. Their most recent tournament title came in 2009, so it's been quite the hiatus since their last tournament title as Hamilton chases an upstairs off-speed pitch, goes down on strike 3, and it will bring up Carson Sims. Chugiak also claimed this tournament in 2008 and 1997. They've beaten Service for the title twice, once in 97 and once in the most recent championship in 2009. As that pitch misses inside, 1-0 to Carson Sims, who's 1 for 1 in the contest today. He singled back in the second inning, and the pitch is a fly ball into center field. A couple of steps in is Yowit to put that one away for the second out. Here comes Ryan Douglas. Now a chance for the Falcons. I mentioned that Chugiak is tied for second most title wins here at the 5-2-9 Midseason Classic. They're tied with Columbia from Tennessee, who has 3 titles here as well. And then West Warwick is the other multi-time winner. They've won it twice. That's a team out of Rhode Island. So, again, teams from all over the country have come here to Anchorage to participate in this tournament. The Falcons have been one previous time. And from my experience here in Anchorage and even out in Wasilla, the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament, I hope that we get to come back. It's the 0-1 pitch on the way to Douglas is a curveball that misses inside, maybe a little bit upstairs, 1-1. Everyone has been so kind to me as the broadcaster and accommodating, especially here in Anchorage and out in Wasilla too. There's just a lot of overlap between all these folks across these tournaments as the 1-1 misses high, 2-1. But it's been a very positive experience and a lot of good baseball, too. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Douglas. That one also misses high, 3-1. There's one team who's participating in 3 tournaments here in Alaska. They call it the Alaska Airlines Tour, as the 3-1 pitch into Douglas is going to miss low. Douglas works a walk to get on base with 2 outs in the inning. Madisonville of Kentucky, who the Falcons beat in the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament Championship game back on Wednesday, is doing the 3-tournament tour. First, beginning in Kenai, and they won that tournament, actually. They placed second at the tournament in Wasilla, of course, losing to the Falcons, and they're off to a they got 1 win and 1 tie here in this tournament. They're trying to make it 3 placements at the Alaska Airlines Tour. They're the only team who's doing the full tour this year and playing in all 3 tournaments. As the first pitch into Price is going to kick away from the catcher, Millard. On the move to second before the pitch was thrown was Douglas. So he's in with the steal and in scoring position for Max Price, who's 2 for 2 today with an RBI. Only one Oregon team has ever won this event. It was in 2023 when the Eugene Challengers came here to Anchorage and defeated Eagle River 4-1 in the title game. Of course, Eugene used to be in our league before we dropped down to the single-A classification, but the Eugene Challengers, always a very formidable opponent. As another wild pitch is going to allow Douglas to move to third, and the count is 2-0 to Max Price. There's 2 quick outs in the inning as Hamilton went down on strikes and Sims flew out to center. But Douglas worked a walk, and 2 pitches later, he's standing at third for Max Price. An RBI opportunity allowed the Falcons to build out more than a single-run lead as Price takes a fastball that misses upstairs. It was over the heart of the plate, but it was up above his elbows, and so the count is 3-0 to Price, with Connor Shively due up next for the Falcons. Set is Sell, and the pitch. That one is just around the knees on the inside corner, in there for a strike, and the count is 3-1. It's a nice evening for baseball, 62 degrees in Anchorage. A little cloudy. It was raining earlier, but hoping that stays away for the rest of this contest. Another pitch in the dirt is going to walk Price, and in steps Connor Shively. Price has reached base now all 3 times today after getting singles his first 2 times around. Shively's also reached base his first 2 times up. He singled in the first and walked in the second. And now an opportunity, driving an RBI. We'll see if they've got anything going on with Max Price over there at first and 2 outs. They'll check on him. They think there might be. A lot of speed over there at first. Shively can send a ball in the gap. Don't be surprised if they give Price the green light. He's already on the move. Shively takes strike 1, and, well, Price is now into second, and so definitely on a base hit. I would imagine they're going to try to score Price if it's hit deep enough. Right now, the Falcons lead 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning in their second game of the 5-2-9 Midseason Classic. The 0-1 pitch to Shively nearly hit him, but it gets away from the catcher. Breaking for home and scoring is Ryan Douglas. Also advancing to third on the play is Max Price, and the Falcons lead 3-1 on another wild pitch this inning. Shively even in the count, a ball and a strike. And this has all happened with 2 outs. Back-to-back walks have come back to bite Luke Sell out there on the hill for Chugiak. The 1-1 pitch to Shively is going to miss up and away, and the count is 2-1. Not sure of all the dimensions here at Mulcahy Stadium. There's no numbers designating it. What we do know is that it's 400 feet to straightaway center field. I got that designation from the program that was handed out. But only one guy's ever gone deep over the center field fence. And so that's how I learned it was 400 feet. The 3-1 pitch, Shively swings through it. The count is 3-2. With 2 outs in the inning and a runner at third, and the Falcons lead by 2 runs. The left-handed bat for the Falcons settles back in, looking down Sale. And the pitch is going to miss inside. And Shively is aboard on the 3rd consecutive walk given up by Luke Sale. Bring up Jacoby Tacchini, still with 2 outs in the inning. Tacchini is 0 for 1 today. He did fly out in the second inning and had a sacrifice fly with an RBI in the first. Shively about a 5-step lead off of first. He's on the move on the first pitch. Tacchini is going to take ball 1 inside. And he gets ahead. It looked like Sell was trying to go for a slider, kind of front door Tacchini there, but, well, it still missed inside, so Jacoby gets ahead to start this at-bat, now with 2 men in scoring position. The pitch is going to miss upstairs, and the count is 2-0. Don't see anyone throwing in the bullpen for Chugiak, but we do see an appearance from their coach. Go out and have a conversation with their pitcher who's gotten himself into some hot water in this inning. See if they keep the ball with them here, and it looks like they will. Gives us an opportunity again to remind you of the folks responsible for getting me to Alaska and allowing this game to be brought to you for free on mybasin.com, and that's Heartfelt OBGYN and the Eisler Group in Klamath Falls. Big thanks to those folks for getting me on a plane and getting me in an Airbnb in Anchorage and getting me on the air here in Anchorage, Alaska, and in Wasilla earlier in the week. Couldn't have done it without those wonderful sponsors and all of our sponsors on mybasin.com, but specifically the Eisler Group and Heartfelt for stepping up here specifically for this tournament and for the rest of the summer of Falcons baseball. The count is 2-0 to Takini, and Sale still on the mound out there. 2 men in scoring position and 2 outs in the inning. That one nearly came in and hit Takini. He gets ahead 3-0. First base is open, so Sale doesn't have to challenge Takini here. Calling Takini on deck, though, it doesn't get much easier the deeper you get into the middle of this Falcons order. The 3-0 pitch is on the way, and Takini takes a fastball over the heart of the plate, and it's 3-1. I think Takini was taken all the way there, considering you're in a 3-0 count against a guy who's walked the previous 3 batters. But now he's got to be ready to hit in a 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one is taken for a ball, and Takini will walk, and that will load the bases for Colin. That is 4 walks for Sale. We'll have a courtesy runner come out for Jacoby, none other than Chase Barrett. I don't know if Chase Barrett owns a phone charger or not, but every time I see him the last couple of road trips, as in Grants Pass and in South Medford, and when we were in Wasilla as well, Chase has asked to have me charge his phone up here in the press box. So I'm not sure who needs to buy that young man a phone charger or remind him to charge it. I've done it, but it's been every time. As here is a line drive into left field. Colin Takini gets a base hit, 1 RBI, and then they wave in Shively. He scores as well. And a 2 RBI single for Colin Takini makes it 5-1 Falcons, making him pay for the free passes, loading up the bases. We'll bring up P.J. Safford. Safford looking to help out his own cause a bit. A little bit of a hitting slump for P.J. He's 0 for 2 in this contest. He might have to wait. We're going to get a pitching change from Chugiak as he coach up and out of the bullpen again. John Sims going to be making a change. And as he does, we'll step aside. The Klamath Falls Falcons have scored 3 runs here in the 4th inning, and they lead 5-1 in the bottom of the 4th against the Chugiak Mustangs at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. Back after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
And we welcome you back into the ball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. A new pitcher on the mound for Chugiak and we'll see Cole Lux enter the ball game to pitch. He comes in from third base. The former first baseman Tyler Cage has moved over to play third, and a new first baseman has entered the game. Number 7, Pace Newkirk will enter in for the designated hitter. So no more designated hitter for Chugiak. They'll have their pitcher hitting the rest of the way. Let's take a look at the numbers for Cole Lux so far on the summer for the Chugiak post-33 Mustangs. For Chugiak, for Lux, this is his second appearance of the summer. He's only pitched 2 innings previous, gave up 1 hit and 1 run. He struck out 3 batters, 3.5 ERA, but a small sample size for the young man out there. Class of 28 for Chugiak, so just wrapped up his freshman campaign for the Mustangs, as his first task will be P.J. Safford in a 5-1 ball game. First pitch nearly came in and got Safford. He ducked out of the way, and the count is 1-0. Like I said, Safford 0 for 2 so far in the ball game. A couple of ground balls out to short, but he bats here with 2 men on base. Chase Barrett at second, Colin Takini at first, as Lux comes in and looks. Here's the pitch. It's going to miss upstairs, and the count is 2-0. Like he said, Cage has moved from first to third. Newkirk at first. No other changes except that Luke Sale has completely exited the game. The former pitcher can't close the book entirely on him yet. But once we are able to, we will. He is responsible for the 2 men out there at second. The 2 men out there on base, rather, as Safford gets ahead in the count 3-0. After Safford, if the inning continues, it's Carson Pimley, who would be the 9th batter to hit this inning for the Falcons. And the pitch will miss inside, and so we will get to see Carson Pimley. Safford works a walk, and that will load the bases, and that's how Lux starts his appearance in this contest. Takini moves to second, Barrett to third, and we're going to have a courtesy runner in for the pitcher Safford. Enter the game, Ryan Glidden. All right, Carson Pimley, a chance now. Pimley's 0 for 2 in the contest so far today. He popped out in the infield in the second inning, and he struck out in the third. But now, with the bases loaded and 2 away in the bottom of the fourth, his team leads by 4, a chance for some insurance in the middle part of the ball game. He'll take ball 1, low and away outside. After Pimley, it'll be Corbin Hamilton if this inning continues for the Falcons. He led off this inning. Led it off with a strikeout. Again, this has all happened with 2 outs in the inning. Pitch to Pimley. Taken upstairs for a ball. 2-0. After Hamilton struck out and Sims flew out, it was Douglas, Price, Shively, and Takini, Jacoby Takini, who all walked. And with the bases loaded, Colin Takini had a 2 RBI single. And then P.J. Safford walked to reload the bases. And now in a 3-0 count, Lux in danger of walking in another run. He comes set and delivers to Pimley. That was a strike about letter high over the middle of the plate, and the count is 3-1 to the Falcons' right fielder. Carson Pimley on the season, batting .273 for the Falcons. And the pitch on its way from Lux is going to find the outside corner. Good fastball on the edge of the zone, and the count is full. Runners are going to be in motion in a 3-2 count with 2 outs and a 4-run ball game in the bottom of the fourth. Lux is set. There go the runners. The pitch will miss outside, and they'll only advance 1 station, and a run will score as the Falcons lead 6-1. Barrett scores, Takini to third, Glidden to second, and now Pimley on first. Six walks this inning for the Chugiak pitching staff has helped Falcons score 4 runs in this inning. Hamilton, his first look at Lux, his second crack at things here in the fourth, and he'll take strike 1. Count is 0-1 to Hamilton. Before his strikeout earlier this inning, Hamilton did single in the second, and the pitch is a fastball down the middle, and the count now 0-2 to Hamilton. 6-1 our score, bottom of the fourth inning. Lux looking in, gets the sign from Millard. Comes set, takes a look at Glidden over there at second. A huge lead, and then fires in a wild pitch. That's going to allow Takini to score, Glidden to third, and Pimley to second. And another run in for the Falcons as they lead 7-1. It was a very sizable lead for Glidden off of second, and could have caused the distraction for Lux as he started his delivery home, still sort of looking at Glidden, and then fired in the wild pitch. The 1-2 to Hamilton is an outside fastball, and he goes down looking, rung him up to end the fourth inning. But the Falcons do score 5 runs in the frame, and they only need one base hit to do it. They lead 7-1 as we go to the top of the fifth on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Top of the fifth inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Chugiak Mustangs at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic by a score of 7-1. PJ Safford still out there working for the Falcons. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 in their order. Cooper Millard, Caden Kapazi, and Blake Yawit. And we got Ian Meyer, looks like coming into the game for the Falcons, playing a little bit of first base. He'll replace Corbin Hamilton defensively and in the order. Welcome to the game, Ian Meyer. And Chugiak does not have a batter ready yet. Oh, here he comes. All right, Cooper Millard. Welcome to the ball game as well. All right, Millard so far today 0 for 1. He flew out to shortstop back in the second inning. First pitch from Safford, an inside slider, misses inside, and the count is 1-0. This season for Millard, batting .333 for Chugiak. Rolls one out to short. Shively plays it. Throw on to Meyer is in time, and that's the first out in the fifth inning. All right, here's Caden Kapazi, due up now for the Chugiak Mustangs. 1 for 1 today. He singled and scored in the third inning. Was driven in by a sacrifice fly at an RBI for Tyler Cage later on in that frame. Of course, it's the only run that Chugiak has been able to muster so far, and Kapazi takes strike one, knee high, middle of the plate against Safford, who's already ready to go out of the windup. That time goes off speed. It finds the outside corner. The count is 0-2. Safford has such a quick tempo out there on the mound already. Going with the 0-2. Goes with the changeup, gets a swing and a miss, a drop third strike, but Takini applies the tag, and 2 quick outs in the fifth inning. We'll go back to the top of the order for Blake Yawit. Yawit is 0 for 2 today. He's flown out in each of his first 2 at-bats in the first and third innings. Yawit, 5'9", like I said, class of 2025. Quite a few of those guys here on this Mustangs roster as he takes an outside two-seam fastball, 0-1. 5 graduated high school seniors on this roster for Chugiak. No guys have come back from college to play for this team. But again, a handful of high school graduates participating as the 1-1 finds the outside corner on the fastball. 1-2 to Blake Yawit. Safford waiting for the sign from Takini, who looks in, gets it from the dugout, delivers to Safford, who's ready to go. The 1-2 misses wide, and the count is even. PJ hardly leaves the rubber out there, receives the pitch on the rubber. He's ready to go. He knows what he wants to throw. He's looking at the dugout already. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. Goes slider outside, but it broke back across the plate, and he sits down Yowit for the third out in the fifth inning. Going to the bottom half next, and the Falcons lead 7-1 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Getting set for the top of the fifth inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 7-1 at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic here in Anchorage, Alaska. Due up this half, it'll be Carson Sims, Ryan Douglas, and Max Price. That's 8, 9, and 1 for the Falcons as they lead by 6. Cole Lux still out there on the hill for Chugiak, looking to clean things up a bit as the fourth inning was a challenge on the mound for the Mustangs. Again, they walked 6 batters in that inning, and it led to 5 runs. All of those men who walked, except for one, came around to score, and they also had the single and an RBI from Colin Takini. Here Sims sends a line drive down the left field line. It winds up foul. The count is a ball and a strike to Carson Sims, who's 1 for 2 today. Sims singled in the second inning, also flew out in the fourth, but looking to get the rally started here in the fifth inning for the Klamath Falls squad. Falcons back tomorrow at 2:15. They'll play the Kenai Twins, who won their game against South Anchorage earlier today. The 1-1 pitch is a curveball, nearly hit Sims, had to duck out of the way. The count is 2-1. And no game for Kenai yesterday as they are playing a double-header tomorrow to make up for that fact. It's the 2-1 pitch on its way to Carson Sims. Lux delivers. Curveball is in the zone, and the count is now 2-2 to Sims. Ryan Douglas waiting on deck. Sims has been very good in 2-strike counts this summer. He widens out the batting stance and awaits the pitch. The 2-2 popped foul, staying alive. Count remains to Sims. Sims was named player of the game yesterday, going 2 for 2 with a couple of RBI. On the season, Carson is second on the team in hitting, batting .511 through the first 18 games of the summer. The 2-2 to Sims is going to miss in the dirt, low and away, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Settles back in a little bit towards the back of the right-handed batter's box. Still stays wide in a 2-strike count. Here's the delivery. It is hit, a 2-hopper, sent out to the second baseman, Kapazi. Throw on to first is in time, and the out is made. Sims is the first out in the fifth inning. So it'll bring up Ryan Douglas. One away in the inning, and Douglas is 0 for 1 today. He flew out in the second inning, and he walked in the fourth. Pitch on the way is going to bounce to the plate, and Douglas gets ahead 1-0. Was talking a little bit earlier about the Summer League baseball teams that call Mulcahy Stadium home, the Anchorage Bucks and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and The fact that Aaron Judge played here for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots in 2011. Got a big poster of him out front with the all of his accolades. Of course, was Rookie of the Year, and I believe it was 2017 was his rookie year. The 2-0 pitch misses inside. Actually, did it hit Douglas? Nope, it hit Douglas. Going to take his base. Wasn't sure for a moment, but free pass issued to Douglas, and it'll bring up Max Price. He's reached base 3 times today, twice on singles. He added an RBI in the second, and he also walked in the fourth. He scored 2 runs. There's lots of other notable players that have played throughout here at Mulcahy Stadium. Mark McGuire comes to mind. The first pitch will have to wait to move over to first. And a couple of other very good baseball players, but maybe without the name of Mark McGuire or Aaron Judge. JT Snow played here in Anchorage for the Glacier Pilots. As Lux comes set, the pitch will miss down and in. The count is 1-0. Randy Johnson pitched for the Glacier Pilots in the late 80s. Also for the Bucks, Paul Goldschmidt was played here in the mid-2000s for the Anchorage Bucks. The 1-0 pitch is a line drive over the head of the shortstop and into center field. And a base hit will advance Douglas to second. To the board at first is Max Price. With 1 out at the bottom of the 5th inning, Falcons have a runner in scoring position for Connor Shively. 3 for 3 day now for Max Price, and a walk as well. He's reached base every time. Are they going to bring in a runner for Price? What do we got going on here? Shively, let's see. Well, Price just took off and is running down out of the field. Not quite sure exactly what happened, but they got a pinch runner in there. It is going to be Hunter Glidden. It's just going to be a swap for now. We'll see if Price returns or what is going on there for Max. Hopes everything's okay. This Connor Shively gets a chance to bat now. Like I said, with 1 out and 2 men on, 1 in scoring position. It's Douglas out there at second, and now Hunter Glidden aboard at first. First offering to Shively, misses down and away. The count is 1-0. The Anchorage Bucks, to my knowledge, have never won the NBC World Series, but the Anchorage Glacier Pilots have won it on 3 occasions, mostly in the 70s and 80s. The 1-0 pitch missed outside, 2-0. The NBC World Series, the National Baseball Congress, is now, I believe they're going to play their 90th World Series this year, but it's for summer collegiate baseball. I believe this year is the 90th NBC World Series. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Shively as that one bounces to the plate. Miller knocks it down, but then it kicks down the first base line, allowing both runners to advance. And the count will be 3-0 to Shively as Douglas goes to third and Glidden goes to second. Shively's already walked twice today in the 2nd and 4th innings. He also singled in the 1st. But I'm sure he wants to swing the stick here. But a 3-0 count, the delivery from Lux, straight down Main Street. And the count is now 3-1 to Shively as he takes that straight fastball. Jacoby Takini is on deck for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Here's the pitch. Misses low, and Shively walks. Load him up for Jacoby Takini. 3rd time Shively has walked today. Well, Takini's walked once as well. He walked in the 4th inning. He also had a sacrifice fly with an RBI in the 1st, and he flew out in the 2nd. Jacoby, like I said, joins P.J. Safford and Max Price as the only guys who've started every single game of the summer so far for the Falcons. That pitch was out of the zone. The count is 1-0 to Jacoby Takini. Still 1 out in the inning with the bases loaded. That one misses outside. The count is now 2-0. Of those 18, now 19 starts for Jacoby Takini, 16 of them have been at the catcher position. Otherwise, he's been a designated hitter for the other 2 games of the year. Lux comes set in the 2-0 to Jacoby Tacchini. And that one is called a strike. Beltile on the outside corner. Count 2-1 now to Jacoby. With Colin Tacchini due up next, the cleanup hitter for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Waits the pitch from Lux, who comes set. Takes a look at Hunter Glidden out there at second. And misses outside. The count now 3-1 to Jacoby. No stranger to the free pass this year. Jacoby has worked 10 walks and has a team-leading 8 times he's been hit by a pitch. His 10 walks also leads the team. The 3-1 is popped up in the infield. Could be playable for the catcher Millard. Dancing around back there, but he does put it away for the second out. Well, here's Colin Tacchini with 2 away and the bases loaded. This is what you have him in the cleanup spot for, to clean him up when you got him loaded. And Colin Tacchini this season with the bases loaded is 2 for 4. Getting an opportunity here to add a bit more to his team's 6-run advantage. The pitch will miss outside. The count is 1-0 to Colin. He is 1 for 3 today. He flew out in the first. He reached in the third after a dropped third strike, but he added a 2 RBI single in the last inning. He's ahead here 1-0, and the pitch is going to miss outside. Count now 2-0 to Colin. If the inning continues, it's P.J. Safford who's on deck for the Falcons. Tacchini keeps his hands back in the right-handed batter's box. And the 2-0 pitch is hit in the air, center field. Going back is Yawit, but he makes the catch to retire the side. Falcons load the bases, but they can't get any runs across, but they do lead by 6 as we go to the top of the 6th inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Josh Eldridge back with you in the top of the 6th inning, live from Anchorage, Alaska at Mulcahy Stadium in the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. It's the Klamath Falls Falcons who lead the Chugiak Mustangs 7-1. For the Falcons so far in the ballgame, 7 runs on 7 hits and no errors. They have left 9 runners on base. For Chugiak so far in the game, 1 run on 4 hits. They've committed no errors. They have left 3 runners on base. P.J. Safford still out there working for the Klamath Falls Falcons, and he will have to go through 2, 3, and 4 in the Chugiak order. That's Jack Karen, Tyler Cage, and what will wind up being Pace Newkirk. He was a late entrant into the ball game. Hadn't made that change in my book yet, but yeah, it'll be Pace Newkirk due up third in this inning for the Chugiak Mustangs. All right, first pitch is rolled foul. Pardon me, Owen Dockstrader due up third. It would be Newkirk due up fourth in this inning. Pardon me there. As the 0-1 pitch is a ground ball towards Meyer at first. Plays it on 2 hops, and a nice shore-handed play by Meyer at first to record the first out against Jack Karen. 3 unassisted in the book. Nice play brings up Tyler Cage. Started the game at first base, has since moved over to play third base for Chugiak. He is 1 for 1 today. He doubled in the first and had a sacrifice fly with an RBI in the third inning. Here's the first pitch from Safford as he misses down and in with a fastball, and the count is 1-0. Gage fists one out towards second. Takini lays out for it, comes up with it. The throw onto Meyer is in time. Colin Takini flashing the leather out there at second for the second out in the sixth inning. Lays out for it, going towards second. And that was a heck of a play for the second out, bringing up Doc Strader. Doc Strader, class of 25, 6'2". Here's the first pitch to him. Will miss inside, and the count is 1-0. It's the start in right field today for Chugiak. Doc Strader on the season, batting .333. This one, a line drive to right field, gets down in front of Pimley, and a two-out knock for Doc Strader makes him 1 for 3. And we'll bring up we'll bring up Pace Newkirk as an addition as the pitcher. They got rid of the designated hitter when Newkirk came into the game. Be his first at-bat. He bats in for Samson Young, who will exit the game after going 0 for 2. A flyout and a groundout on the ledger for him so far. As they move over to first, but back safely is Doc Strader. As Safford comes set, still eyeing that runner at first and delivers. Goes with a slider. He checks his swing and no check down to the base umpire. They're going to say that was a ball. As Newkirk gets ahead on the first pitch against Safford. Up next is Ethan Atkinson for Chugiak. Safford delivers the pitch. That time catches the outside corner. The count is 1-1. Looked like he went with the fastball there to try to get back even in the count against Newkirk. Newkirk, class of 27 for Chugiak. Stands 6 foot tall, 175 as he fouls off that pitch. Back 1-2. Safford working out of the stretch for the first time since the third inning. He had retired 8 straight batters before that single a moment ago. And this time gets Newkirk down looking on a fastball in around the knees for strike 3. So despite that base hit from Doc Strader, Chugiak still trails by 6 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're listening and watching the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Josh Eldridge back with you in the bottom of the 6th inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on MyBasin.com. The Alaska 529 Midseason Classic continues with the Falcons leading 7-1 in this contest. Falcons will be back tomorrow 2:15 to play Kenai in what will be the second leg of their doubleheader. Looking to try and make the semifinal game, and with a win here would all but secure it, as the top 2 teams in Pool B will make the semifinal. In our pool is Chugiak, Kenai, and South Anchorage. South Anchorage is off to an 0-3 start, so they have already been relegated to, well, I believe they've been fully eliminated depending on what else happens so far. They lost a pair of games yesterday, 14-2 and 11-4. They also lost earlier today. I believe the final score was 10-4. Kenai won against South Anchorage, so they are 1-0, along with the two teams that we've got playing right now. So depending on the outcome of this game, we will have a tie for the, or we'll have a definitive look at who is in the top spot of Pool B. Just to give you an idea of who's in Pool A, it's Service, Madisonville, Diamond, and West Anchorage. All right, P.J. Safford getting ready to step in, and a new pitcher on the mound for Chugiak is going to be their former center fielder, Blake Yowitt. We'll take a look at the numbers on him in just a moment. Yowitt delivers the pitch to Safford. It also misses outside. A quick 2-0 count to PJ, who is 0 for 2 today. He grounded out in the first and third innings, and he also walked. That was in the fourth. Yowitt throwing from the left side. That pitch finds the outside corner to the right-handed hitting Safford. The count 2-1. For Yowitt, this looks to be his first outing of the summer. No previous pitching appearances for him as Safford fouls that pitch back. The count is now 2-2. Now replacing Yowitt in center field is going to be Doc Strader, the former right fielder. Karen has moved from left to center. We'll just reset the whole defense for you for Chugiak because they look like they've made quite a few changes. Millard is still catching. Lux is now to third. Cage is at short. Adkisson is at second with Newkirk at first. The outfield from left to right is Kapazi, Doc Strader, and Karen. As Safford works a walk to lead off the inning, and it will bring up Carson Pimley. And every single position except for the catcher having a change this inning for Chugiak. And a courtesy runner coming in for PJ. It'll be Ryan Glidden. And Carson Pimley will now bat for the Falcons. Pimley is 0 for 2 today. He flew out, he's struck out, and he's walked. And batting here with a runner on base against Blake Yowitt. Like I said, he's making his first appearance of the season. First pitch to Pimley misses outside. The count is 1-0. Pretty aggressive secondary lead for Glidden out at first, but going to scamper on back as Pimley looks in and gets the signs from the third base and head coach, Sean Teeters, as Yowitt comes set. Showing bunt is Pimley. That one misses inside, kicked away from the catcher Millard for just a second. Glidden had an opportunity to get going to second, but decided against it, even though that pitch got away from Millard. So settling back in now is Pimley. Corbin Hamilton on deck for the Falcons as the left-hander comes set and delivers. That one finds the outside corner. Count now 2 balls and a strike to Pimley. Well, Chugiak, most of these guys come from Chugiak High School, who finished 9-11 in their high school season and were third place in the Cook Inlet Conference, were the number 9 best team in the state of Alaska, just barely missing out on a postseason appearance. They would have been the first team left out of the postseason. Not typical for this team, which has historically been pretty good. That pitch misses outside to Pimley, and back-to-back walks delivered by Yowitt puts 2 men on for Corbin Hamilton. Back-to-back walks. That makes it total for the game. Walk number 10 delivered to the Falcons by the Chugiak pitching staff. 10 free passes. 7-1 our score, bottom of the 6th inning, and it's Ian Meyer hitting in place of Corbin Hamilton. Sorry there. Meyer pops one up behind the plate foul, looking for the bunt. It's Meyer getting his first at-bat in this game after hitting in for Hamilton. Hamilton will exit the game after going 1 for 3 with a single back in the second inning. He scored in that inning, but since struck out twice. So Meyer getting his first at-bat in this game. Shows bunt there, but that again misses, and the count is even now at a ball and a strike. Set on the mound is Yowitt. And the pitch. Meyer shows bunt that this is below the knees. The count 2-1 to the first baseman for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Carson Sims is still on deck for the boys in red. Corners in, protecting bunt. A 2-1 count. Meyer shows bunt, pushes it down the third base line. This time it remains fair. Throw down to third is going to wind up into left field. Now breaking for the plate is Ryan Glidden. The throw-in is not in time, and he scores on the error. Advancing to second is Ian Meyer. And had he just held it, no one would have come in to score, but instead the Falcons lead 8-1, and they've got two men in scoring position, still with nobody out in the bottom of the sixth inning. Glidden scored, Pimley to third, and Meyer with what was, I believe, we'll see if they go fielder's choice or bunt single. I'll probably go fielder's choice for Myers. Had they gone there, he's not likely to beat out that infield bunt, but still advancing to second there, and now here's Carson Sims, who checks his swing on a pitch that was in the zone, and the count is 0-1. Infield playing back on the outfield cut of the grass, awaiting the 0-1 pitch to Sims, as that pitch misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Well, the scorer that I see here scored that a sacrifice bunt for Meyer, although that's what they say, that came in and scored the run, which is just not true. So we're going to leave it as a fielder's choice for now, as a 2-1 count to Carson Sims. He'll be followed in the order by Ryan Douglas. As Yowitt looks in, gets the sign from Millard, and the pitch is flared out towards second. A diving catch at second by Atkinson for the first out in the sixth inning. Stealing a sure thing base hit away from Carson Sims. And a nice play on the defensive end for Chugiak here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Got to tip your cap when it's due. And a nice diving catch out there for Ethan Atkinson. Ryan Douglas bats now for the Klamath Falls Falcons. He's reached base a couple of times today, but still looking for his first base hit. So got some clarification on the play for Ian Meyer. Looks like fielder's choice. And the run scores on the air, no RBI for Ian Meyer, according to what I got clarification for right there. The count is 2-0. To Ryan Douglas. Like I said, has reached base a couple of times today. Once on a walk, and he was hit by a pitch in the fourth and fifth innings. Otherwise, he flew out in the second inning. 2-0 pitch is going to miss up and away, and the count's 3-0 to Ryan Douglas. Max Price is on deck for the Falcons. Trying to avoid another free pass out there as Blake Yowitt's going to have to come in and challenge Ryan Douglas. Here's the pitch. That one finds the inside corner. Looked to be the fastball just above the knees on the inside corner. The count is 3-1 to Douglas. Standing at second is Meyer. Pimley is aboard at third. One away in the bottom of the sixth inning of an 8-1 ball game. Douglas fights off an inside fastball, fouls it, and the count is 3-2. Millard squats down behind the plate, gives the sign to Yowitt, agreeable as he comes set. And the 3-2 pitch will miss upstairs. Douglas works a walk for the second time today, and that'll load the bases up for Max Price. Price singled 3 times today in the first, second, and fifth innings. He had an RBI in the second. He also walked in the fourth, so he scored 2 runs today. Otherwise, he's 3 for 3. He's having quite the day so far. And again, we'll take you back to yesterday for Max Price. Is another good outing for him. Yesterday saw him go 2 for 2. He sends a ground ball to third that gets through the infield and scores a run. Pimley in to score. Meyer advances to third. And the bases remain loaded after the RBI. No RBI on the single there, or the error there, but still reaching base. As, again, Pimley scored, Meyer to third, Douglas to second. Bases remain loaded with one out, and here's Connor Shively looking to add some more for the Falcons as they lead 9-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch on the way. Ground ball to first this time, snagged by the first baseman Newkirk, had to slide to come up with it, but a run comes in to score on the ground ball out for Shively as Meyer touches home, Douglas to third, and Price moves up to second. So with 2 gone, there will be 2 men in scoring position, give Shively an RBI there. And Jacoby Takini bats with 2 men in scoring position. He already has 1 RBI today. It came on a sacrifice fly back in the first inning. Otherwise, he's popped out twice and walked once. Score of 10-1, the Falcons lead. And Jacoby Takini takes that pitch below the knees, the count 1-0. And if Takini is able to get a base hit here, the Falcons would be walk-off winners via the mercy rule. That man at third right now, Ian Meyer, would invoke that mercy rule here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yowit trying to escape. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's hit in the air to right field, shallow right field. Coming in is Karen. He will make the catch and end the inning. So we go to the top of the 7th in a 10-1 ball game that the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Chugiak Mustangs in the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting set for the top of the 7th inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on MyBasin.com. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead 10-1 in the top of the 7th inning. Due up for Chugiak to try to have a mountain of a rally will be Ethan Adkisson, Cole Lux, and Cooper Millard. That's 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup for Chugiak, as P.J. Safford still out there on the mound looking to go the distance. Go for a complete game here as he gets ready to go in the 7th inning. Safford has also been fairly economical with his pitch count as well. He'll start here with pitch number 65 in the game. Here's the offering. It is swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 to Ethan Adkisson, who is 0 for 2 today. He struck out in the 2nd inning, and he grounded out in the 4th. Pitch on the way is an off-speed pitch, rolled out towards short. Shively charging in, plays it on a couple hops. Strong throw to Meyer is in time, and there is one away in the 7th inning. This will bring up Cole Lux. Now, Lux is 1 for 2 today. He singled in the 2nd inning, and he popped out in the 4th. And that pitch misses upstairs and in, and the count is 1-0. Lux batting from the right side, class of 2028 for Chugiak, sends a line drive into left field. That's going to get down, and it will roll near the wall. Rounding first, headed for second is Lux. Douglas gets the ball in quickly, and so it'll be a 1-out double for Cole Lux, making him 2 for 3 in the ball game, and a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Chugiak trying to show some life here, but again, a tall mountain to climb, needing 9 runs to tie it. And we have got a new batter into the game for Chugiak. Number 4, Sullivan Sims, getting ready to swing the bat a bit here, batting for Cooper Millard. Sims is going to be a freshman next year for Chugiak. Pops one up behind second base. Shively makes the call and makes the catch. And so a quick at-bat for Sullivan Sims, and there are 2 outs in the 7th inning. The Mustangs down to their final out of this contest, and it'll be Caden Capozzi. Capozzi is 1 for 2 today. He singled in the 3rd and scored. He also struck out in the 5th. As Safford comes set and delivers the pitch. It is looked at for ball 1, missed upstairs. The count is 1-0. After Capozzi, back to the top of the order for Blake Yowitt for Chugiak. Safford gets the sign from Takini, shakes off the first offering, and now is agreeable as he comes set. The 1-0 pitch on the way from Safford is a slider ripped down the third baseline foul, and the count is a ball and a strike. Capozzi is class of 26 for Chugiak. He'll be a senior next year, stands 5'7" in the right-handed batter's box. Trying to extend this game at least another batter for the Mustangs. As Safford comes set. Here's the pitch. The 1-1 will miss upstairs and in. 2-1. Safford, as he started his delivery, was eyeing the runner at second, Lux. And maybe the focus there for just a moment is what allowed that ball to miss upstairs. Safford shaking his head for a moment, knows he really only has to go after this batter at the plate. That runner at second means almost nothing at this point in the ball game. The 2-1 pitch misses upstairs. The count now 3-1 to Capozzi. Safford working from the stretch. Going to try to challenge the now left fielder for Chugiak on this pitch. Here it comes. Runner is on the move to third. That pitch missed low. The throw down to third is not going to be in time. And so ball 4, and Lux steals third. So it'll be runners at the corners with 2 outs. Back to the top of the order for Blake Yowitt. For Cole Lux, we'll update the numbers for him. Looking at the stolen base numbers for Lux. He is now 4 for 4 in stolen base attempts. And a line drive to left field on the first pitch to Yowitt is an RBI single, knocking in Lux and advancing Capozzi to second. And Chugiak not going away yet. They trail 10-2 after the RBI single. First base hit of the day for Yowitt. And in steps Jack Karen, who is 1 for 3 today. Karen is flown out in the first inning. He grounded out in the 6th. He also added a double in the 3rd inning. Safford delivers the pitch. It's a slider that starts off the outside, then breaks back across the plate. The count is 0-1 to Karen. After Karen, it's Tyler Cage in the order for Chugiak if the inning continues. As Safford comes set with the 0-1. The pitch, another slider on the outside, and a line drive into right field will get down and a base hit. Rounding third, heading home to score is Capozzi. Douglas has trouble with it in left. They're waving another runner in to score. The throw in is going to be cut off by Price. They go back to try to pick off Karen at second, and they will not get it. So a 2 RBI double there for Karen. I believe, couldn't quite see if Douglas came up with it a little funky or how they're going to wind up scoring that one. What we do know is that 2 more runs have come in to score for Chugiak, and to score now 10-4. One runner out there at second is Karen, and it will bring up Tyler Cage. Cage is 1 for 2 today, doubled in the first, had a sacrifice fly with an RBI in the 3rd, and he grounded out in the 6th. He is still the final out that Safford needs to get to close out this ball game. And the pitch is a fastball on the inside corner, just below the belt in the zone for a strike to get ahead of Tyler Cage. Started the game at first base, then moved over to third, then moved over to short. Safford looks in, selects his 0-1 pitch. And here it comes. Hit in the air, deep left field. Douglas going back towards the wall. That one is off the top of the wall. And an RBI double for Tyler Cage makes it 10-5. Chugiak rallying with 2 outs in the 7th. That one nearly left the yard, hit the very top of the fence in left field. As it scored Karen from second, and Cage gets the RBI double, bringing up Owen Dockstrader. Dockstrader is already 1 for 3 today. He flew out in the first, grounded out in the third, singled in the 6th. Now bats with a runner in scoring position and still 2 outs in the inning. Now in a 5-run ball game. Here's the pitch from Safford. Goes off speed. It's lifted into the air. Right field. Should be playable for Pimley. In a few steps, makes the catch, and that is the ball game. A score of 10-5, and the Klamath Falls Falcons defeat the Chugiak Mustangs in the second game of the Alaska 529 Mid-Season Classic. We'll be back to break it down for you when we return on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Josh Eldridge back with you from Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska for the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic, where the Falcons improve to 2-0 in tournament play as they defeat the Chugiak Mustangs 10-5. For the Falcons, 10 runs on 7 hits. They commit 1 error, and they left 11 runners on base in the contest. For Chugiak, 5 runs on 9 hits. They commit 2 errors, and they leave 5 runners on base in the contest. The winning pitcher is P.J. Safford, picking up his first win of the summer. Safford pitched a complete game, giving up 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, and he struck out 4. The losing pitcher for Chugiak is going to be Weston Gracie, the starter, who pitched 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, each of them earned. He walked 1 and did not record a strikeout. The Falcons used 11 walks to power themselves to a victory today. Like I said, they only needed 7 base hits to get it done, but the 529 player of the game for the Falcons was P.J. Safford, not only pitching a complete game on the hill, but also collecting a couple of walks at the plate and in turn scoring a run as well. Offensively, he was helped out in a 3-for-4 day for Max Price, who finished with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Connor Shively was 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored as well. We also have Colin Takini, who is 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. Carson Pimley was 0 for 2, sacrifice with an RBI there. And those are your offensive notables for the Klamath Falls Falcons as they improve to 2-0 in tournament play at the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. And heading into day number 3, they are the first place team in Group B, as we can try to take an updated look at where the standings are. Chugiak and then South Anchorage are how Pool B stands up right now, heading into Saturday's contest where Kenai will start the day against Chugiak. That's at 11:45. The Falcons will then play Kenai in the second leg of the Twins doubleheader at 2:15. Service plays West Anchorage in a Pool A matchup, and then Diamond matches up with Madisonville.